Are you a man or Mickey Mouse? It is humorous questions like these that can bring a smile to your face and usually bring a smile to my face. And it also reminds me to do the hard thing and do the correct thing, even if it results in pain. Because many times the correct thing and the right thing to do is painful. But you know what? I'm a man and not Mickey Mouse, so I better do it. And so, in these tough times that you might be going through, and which all of us go through inevitably, we can always remind ourselves with humor and with questions that truly, what should we do? And many times, the best question to ask yourself is, what is the alternative? What can you do except keep going? Because no matter how painful that road is, how tough it might be, and how much suffering it might cause you, if you give up, there truly is no chance of a better life, of the life you want, of success. And so, despite it being painful, truly the only thing you can do is keep moving forward. And usually that has helped me when I've been in tough situations. I've always asked myself, what else can I do? What is the alternatives? What are the options that I have? And truly you're left with the choice of keep going for a chance at something greater, or give up, quit, and everything will stay the same. And many people are wondering, but if I keep going, won't I just suffer more? Won't this pain just keep going? I'll have to bear it again and again and again, and I'll have to feel the pain over and over. But truly, what do we have to lose? If you're already at the rock bottom, which you might feel like, but there is no point in continuing. Everything has gone to absolute shit. But that also means that you have nothing to lose from keeping yourself moving, to moving forward. If you keep going, you won't lose anything, but you might gain something. And so why not keep going, even though it's painful, even though it might lead to suffering? Why not see where that struggle will lead you, where the road will end up, and where you will be if you keep walking down that road? Because surely, yes, you are correct when you think to yourself that, life is the most absurd and ridiculous roller coaster that we will ever step into. But at the same time, it's the one where we can get the most out. It's the one where we can get something out of that suffering, out of that misery. And if you imagine your life as a story, would you watch a movie or read a book where everything is perfect? You probably wouldn't. And so the whole point is to suffer, is to go through pain, is to have challenges and hardship. Because those are the things that make your story worth telling. The story of your life will only be told to the future generations if there is something hard, something challenging. And that is the current moment of misery, of hardship, of suffering. That is what makes it worth telling. And if you think to yourself about all the people that you look up to, did you look up to them because everything was perfect in their life? That they had no struggle which they had to overcome? Of course not. You look up to these people because they had the hardship, they had the struggles, and they overcome them. They got over them. They survived. They have the scars to tell about that. And so, when you're going through these hard periods, you can always remind yourself that these are the periods which make your life a story worth telling. And without these periods of suffering, there would be no point in telling your story. There would be nothing to talk about. But as you have these challenges and these struggles, you have a story to tell. And funnily enough, the more you suffer, the more struggle there is, the more challenges you overcome, the more worth telling your story will be. And a great example, think about King David. Why do we talk about King David in the Bible more than we talk about many of the other kings? Because he went through struggle. He faced Goliath when no one else was brave enough to do that. No one else was courageous enough to face Goliath. Everyone cowered in fear. But David was up to the challenge. He was willing to face Goliath. That's why we talk about him. We talk about David because he got exiled. He had to flee for his life and he had to escape. Multiple times he was hiding in caves. He had to fear for his life when the king was after him. And once again, it is those stories of struggle, of hardship, of uncertainty, where you don't know if you're gonna lose your life, if everything's gonna go down and come crashing down. It is those periods that we talk about. We don't talk about King David. Oh, you know what? On that one, Saturday, everything was fine. The weather was great. Sun was shining, and nothing special happened. And he had a great meal. We don't talk about that. We talk about Goliath, how we talk about the wars, we talk about the battles he fought, we talk about him being persecuted, we talk about all the challenges, because that is truly the interesting part. And so, if you want your life to be like that of David, then you will also have to go through the struggles like David, because only then will you be talked about. And yeah, it sounds bad, and yeah, it sounds, horrible that you have to suffer and go through pain to get this. But once again, what's the alternative? What is the alternative? And I know that a lot of people probably have lied to you in your life and said to you that life is about happiness. But truly, life is not about experiencing happiness. It's about experiencing it all. If you imagine yourself before you are born, asking God, what do you want to experience in your life? Would you say to God, give me the life of perfection where I'm happy every day? You probably wouldn't. You would probably say to God, you know what? Give me a fulfilling life. Give me a good life, filled with all the emotions. I will have the days where it's calm and peaceful, but also the days where I feel stress and anxiety. Give me the days where I can feel joy, but also the days where I'm in misery, suffering, where I'm angry and sad. And then you will experience it all. And only then have you lived a complete life. And that is the purpose, that you go through all the emotions. And trust me, that is the best thing that you can do, because every time that you look back on those horrible periods, you go and you look back at all the periods that hurt you, that had all the suffering and pain in it, you're glad that they happened. It's weird, but I think everyone agrees. If you truly look back at the worst periods of your life even, like now looking back at it, of course at the time you're like, why is this happening? But looking back at it after years or months, you're like, I'm happy it happened. I'm glad it happened, because I learned something and I got to experience it, and now I can enjoy all the rest of my life a lot more, because I know what I could be. And so, even if you have no reason to smile at all, then you can smile for no reason at all. And finally, I want to tell you that God is close and loving. And whenever I call on to humans, usually I get no answer. But when I call to God, He is there. And so, as always, stay disciplined, chase your dreams, and Have a fantastic day.